Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Monday, the 8th of January, 2024, 6:10 p.m. Central Time. I do all that from memory. There's no boards here or anything. Interesting. So we had a day where most of the day the Dow was lower, in large part having to do with Boeing Airlines. But I think as people realize what goes on, that event with the blown out door, which I can't even imagine if somebody were in that seat, they'd have probably died. There was nobody there. And when's the last time you were on a plane and next to a seat there isn't somebody there? Unbelievable. But regardless, they'll get it fixed, all right? And the plane will be safer than ever. It's a new type of plane. You've got to expect these things. It takes years to work through things. No matter the simulations, there's always something. It'll be a fine plane. They'll get this done, and it probably won't even affect Boeing down the road. Obviously, nobody got killed, and that's the good news. I live in Chicago, where United is based right now. They're talking of moving to Denver, and they're smart if they get out of this city, because this city doesn't appreciate business. But to make a long story short, they're bringing on other airplanes, so they'll make up the difference. Of course, other airlines have to do the same thing. So will air travel get hurt bad? Probably not. Speaking of travel, the first real winter storm's hitting the market. So we've got to be watching that across the United States. And in the metal markets, how long have I been saying, gee, we're back in this 2040 area? It's a long time. The market's just sitting here, and I think that's important. It's not going up, not going down. The dollar index, a lot of traders have been saying, and I keep reading reports going to 104. I'm not convinced it is going to 104. Don't see that on the charts. When I look at what's going on, I like what the pound's been doing. The Japanese yen, I'm hearing already traders say the trade of the year belong the yen, short the dollar. Okay, what they're betting on is the Bank of Japan's going to change things. But what's this going to do for the dollar versus the metal market? So let's go to them. When we look at the gold market, you can see that you're sitting here at the 2038.60 level. And the market, when you look at this area chart of just closes, you can see the market is on a weekly basis been staying over that 18-week average of 19,081.40. When we look at prices, this is that 2040 area. How long have you been here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days now that you've been there. You got over it briefly, but you were here for most of December, because I know I kept saying, wow, that's an interesting area. We just seem to be coming back there over and over. The near-term trend is down. You have the swing line with lower highs and lower lows. And remember, on the swing line, it looks at the bar before it. So this is a daily chart. So it's looking at the action of Monday. You have so far an inside day. You haven't taken out the highs or lows of Monday. And Monday looked at where you were in relation to Friday, and you made a lower low, so the line drops down. I created the indicator so that let me think about this. I created it when my son was just going to be a teenager or so. So he's 38. So that gives you 25 years ago. So he could walk in a room and tell anybody what the trend of a market is, if there was one, the risk associated with the trend, and they thought he was a genius. Of course, he's not even in finance. He's a forest ranger. But that's the beauty of it. When you take a look at what's going on through here, here is the market fighting a battle at 2052.5 at the 18-day average of closes. The market, if you get over on the current pattern, 2071.10, you negate the downtrend. I think things will happen before then if that's going to happen. If you keep falling in the market, one of the next support zones is 2013.80. That's the 200-day average of closes. And when you put on the chart the Bollinger Bands, you can see how they're racing up right now to that 2013.80 level, the 200-day average. So I'm not going to look for the market to get much beyond that. The other event that is happening, This sideways action or the capping of the market up here and then pulling back and hanging around that 18-day average of closes is now forcing the arms of the Bollinger Band to wrap themselves around price. It's often a sign, a prelude to volatility coming out of the market. We'll see if that in fact is the case, and you're in an oversold condition. So when you're oversold, do I teach that professional traders are going to push money to the short side? I do not. Just the opposite. I'd be saying they're looking for reasons to cover shorts, not reason to be adding to shorts. That doesn't mean I'm bullish. Just what I said. Covering of shorts is not getting bullish. Gold-silver ratio, well, you can still see it's hanging over the 85.67 level. Maybe it got a little overdone when it got to 88, but 87.30 is not that far from it. And the silver market's still acting weak. Lower highs, lower lows, and unlike the gold market, it is underneath the 200, the 18, and the 100-day moving average of closes. So it's got resistance on the way back up, unlike the gold, which has only one average there. So gold has moving averages under it to support the market. This has averages over it that act as resistance in the marketplace, and you're very oversold in this. In the copper market, the word is China's got to do some things. And I start writing about it tonight, the things that they're beginning to do. They realize that in their desperate move to get away from real estate building their economy, they're trying to convert to manufacturing now. Well, the problem with that, and I think you know it, is they can convert all they want. Do we in the West trust them? No. Do we believe that they have our best interests at heart? No. They steal anything we have patented. Number two, they change their laws in a lickety-split because it's really just run for the good of the people, not a democracy. And what does the people, what do they think? Whatever President Xi thinks. It really goes form of a dictatorship, period, all right? You can call it what you want, communism, but what he says, he's president for life, basically. It's the way it's going to be. And while he wants to change the economy around, he needs to convince the United States, the European Union, that he is a noteworthy supplier and one that can be trusted. Do any of us believe that after the COVID instances? No, not in any manner whatsoever. Do most people believe that they won't steal the technology? No, they don't. So until those laws change, it's a very big uphill road. It's not political that I'm talking. It's the reality of the situation. And there's a reason Western companies have pulled back. Even banks are pulling back very gradually there. They're not expanding. So things you got to look at. Can China change all this? Of course they can. Do we hope they do? We should. Do we want to get along with them? I think we do. The people of the world should all want to get along with everybody, and there's a lot of people there. As you look at what's happening, though, you've come down and you're fighting your battle at the 200-day moving average. You're oversold. Yes, you're making a slight run close to it at the Bollinger Band. The question is, can the market go anywhere on the downside? I was watching today Goldman Sachs ex-head commodity trader Jeff Curry. He had given an interview just recently on copper talking about how bullish he is, and I understand that. But I don't understand his timing half the time, and that's the other issue I never did get with him. I don't like his timing at all. Right now, this is not a bullish market. When you look at platinum, it's the same thing. The market ran out of all its upside, fell back, and now it's got a big battle at the 200-day average of closes in gray, the 18-day average, but terribly oversold. Oversold markets tell me, nah, Ira's not interested in telling his clients go short down there. And in the dollar index, if you look at it, the market got up to that 200-day average. And what did I say to you last week? And I will repeat it. The first challenge of a 200 and 100-day average often, the word isn't always, often, is an area that professionals will look at and they'll say, okay, a 200-day average is almost a one-year average. That should have some importance. Could it just go through it like that? Of course it could if the right circumstances are there, but that's the key, the right circumstances. There's no panic in the dollar right here, so the market's doing what it should. It's fighting a battle. Traders are saying, and I know where they get the 104 level, if the market can clear this, the next upside's the 100-day average. That's how they came to that number. If you understand charts enough and you read what these analysts come up with, it's all laid out there. It's not tea leaves. You can just go to it and you can pretty well see. I'm not in that camp just yet. The market has got to tell me what it wants to do next, and it just hasn't. But there are things you can do to keep up with this. Number one, I don't know the phone app you're using to watch commodity markets. But if you're like I am, number one, you need to be able to read them. I get so many of them. I probably have on my phone 3 different apps from different companies that I use to look at the market, and I keep coming back to mine. I can read this. The one thing that we did when we were designing this at Linn and Associates is it has to be readable. The charts have to be usable. I look at these charts and the others, they're not usable. And could they try to make the type any smaller so you can't see anything? My videos all play in this, and they play well. You'll be able to read news stories in this. You'll be able to look at charts and actually read the charts. And this is so important and something we worked on. Then if you're in your car, you might want to listen to the audio reports we have. So you're just in your car, you hit a button, boom. If your phone is a smartphone, you can tell it to do certain things. We have that built in. You can say to it, play my quote file. It'll play everything out of QT. So if you'd like to give this a try, we give it to our clients for free if they're with us as a subscriber or have a trading account, but we'll let you try it. Go to iraepstein.com under free offers. You'll see it all listed there. Give it a try. Move your cursor up here. It'll take you to the free offers as well. It will work on both iOS and Android phones. Free trial. Give it one. I think you'll be surprised at what it does and how well it does it. You have a great evening. I will talk to you all first thing in the morning.